I own Action T-shirts here in Richmond, Virginia, on Lakeside Avenue. Woo, nice, so pretty. So it's my big ass sticker. It actually has brought business because people are like, "Whoa, what? You print T-shirts?" So my business, we've been open since 1980. I started printing in like 87. Um, and we bought this building. We're so in love with it. Check out the ceiling. Debbie, my wife, said, paint it black. And she was right. We have a showroom, which is kind of nice. A lot of shops don't. You know, customers want to come in, see some samples, put their fingers on it, get a feel for what's what. And we have our strange monkey man. Oh, you got the Richmonds for Effers,
Yeah.
the hats, the T-shirts. I have literally made tens of dollars.
I was literally about to bring that up.
Tens of dollars on these. And that's why I'm rich. So it's nice to have some sample prints of some of your favorite clients, some tricky prints, a little photographic, whatnot. And then just kind of reflect our whole vibe, which is a little bit unusual. So we got a big elk, don't call it a deer. And then we got 50 feet of window face. It's really nice to have some presence in the community.
And get some sunlight when you're stuck inside printing T-shirts all day.
It gets mighty warm up here, I ain't gonna lie. But Lakeside is the neighborhood. And before we even moved here, I printed a bunch of these and gave them away to all the neighbors, like, hey y'all, here we are. We're gonna be printing ink T-shirts and, you know, part of the neighborhood. It's all about the community. So this is the shop. It's one big ass room. And there's a spider back there. Pretty much the shirt, we don't have a loading dock or anything, which is kind of a bummer. So everything comes in those double doors every day, FedEx, UPS. Bring it right here and we count it in. And this is our overstock. And count it in, box it up, label it, and put it in line to print.
Honestly, really organized, I would say.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, we try. I mean, we've only been here a little over a year, and we're still doing some remodeling. You can see here and there. And like, I want to put posters up. I want to, you know, put our mark in here a little more. But it was an old magic shop too. This building, for 20 years, the upstairs here, the guy rented. It was Divine Magic. Props to Mr. Wu. He's super cool. And so there was a cool vibe coming in even, but the place had a definite incense smell. It was mighty strong. And it was the only thing that kind of got rid of it is when I polyurethaned all of the floors, which was, you can imagine, was a mighty smell. And so we did a lot of work on the building, but it was a labor of love because we kind of are crazy about it.
Now you're printing magic here.
Well, one of the most important features of any shop is the stereo. So we are vinyl capable, CDs, Bluetooth for your phone, which is really most of what gets played.
Well, it is the most extensive music capabilities I've seen in any print shop so far. So you're taking that trophy home.
Hey, I'll take it too.
Yeah.
I got a couple records. I'm one of those guys. I got too many. But really, it's Bluetooth. It's really mostly about what's on your phone, playlists and stuff. And not all employees are allowed to be a DJ. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of earn that right.
Are we calling someone out specifically?
I would never do that. Then our ink library, for lack of a better word, sort of our stock inks right out the gallons, and then all of our custom colors. And the more custom colors you make, the less likely you are to need to make more of them, because your client's like, I need this really weird green. And you're like, yeah, no, I actually have that somewhere. So we've cataloged all this. There's an ink book.
You do the Pantone mixing?
Some of it's Pantone, some of it's just match by eye and call it, you know, customer
Call it a
ABC.
day.
Yeah. So the regular plastisol, and then I got low temperature plastisol.
What's the difference? I didn't even know there was a
One
difference.
stroke. regular plastisol cures at like 320. Extreme low temperature plastisol cures at 250, 280. So that's really important when you're printing garments that don't like heat, like 100% polys or tri-blends. You run those through oven at 320 and they're not gonna come out real good. Also, the polyester has this really awesome characteristic of dye migration happens. So when they dye polyester, they do it with a chemical process that's way past what I know about. All I know is that when polyester that has dye in it, like a red Under Armour shirt, when it reaches like 310, the gases come off of that shirt and they will leach into the ink. So if you print a big, white print on a red poly, the worst thing is that it might not happen right away. It can happen as much as 2 weeks down the road, which is a real bummer because your client's like, hey guy, these prints are all kind of pink and streaky.
Hey, guy.
Hey, Mr. Screen Printer, why would that happen? So you learn that lesson the hard way, or someone tells you. Anyways, so because that dye migration occurs at 310, you don't want to use inks that cure at 320. And there's other.
So you're saying making mistakes helps you be a better or do better at whatever you.
From those mistakes.
Yes. Being
you
able
don't just make them. Yeah. You learn from them.
Yes.
Right.
And apply what you've learned.
Always.
Put it into.
Put it in the bank.
No, come on.
Put it into.
If you don't get this.
Put it into action.
Yes, come on.
Why are you doing this to me? Okay, so ELT inks, and honestly, if I opened up a shop from scratch, I would probably only use ELT inks because now I have a split library. It's just easier to have all the same. They are more expensive, but it's like shoes. Spend the money on good ink because cheap ink will come back to haunt you and your client, and bad things can happen.
That's good advice. Specialty inks? Are we getting to that?
So now we're into water-based inks.
Okay.
It's not my main jam. I can do it if we need to. So these are like all tintable. You kind of make a base and you put the pigments in it, give a little stir, and hopefully, So these are the bases for the water base: discharge, clear base. There's like 4 different kinds of discharge: thickeners, additives, stabilizers, retarders, and softeners. So
That's a lot of things.
right, and we're using Matsui water-based ink, and I got no complaints, but it's its own certain pain in the ass. And there are shops that only print water-based, and kudos to them. They probably have it dialed in. It's everything's sort of work in progress. I try to stay in my lane, but water-based is exciting. Certainly, really for me, the thing is if somebody comes in with a huge print, I don't want, unless they're like, and some people actually want the thick ink. So it's important to have that conversation, because I've made that mistake where you hook a guy up and you make it super soft and they're like, no, man, I wanted the crusty.
To feel it.
Yeah, I wanted it thick. But if it's a real thick ink field, it's basically a solar panel and it's going to be super comfortable, super uncomfortable. And I don't care if the design is the coolest thing ever. If it's uncomfortable, no one's going to wear that shirt. So you can have an ugly ass design on a shirt, and if the shirt's super soft and the print is super soft, people will love to wear it, and they don't give a long about what it looks like. Not that I don't care. Trust me, I pain myself to make our shirts as pretty as possible. But so when it comes to a large ink field, I will say, hey, why don't we discharge it, because it's going to be no feel. The material will breathe. You're not going to have that solar panel effect. Super gross.
What are these called again? The technical term.
That's a stir stick. That's a paint. That's a palette knife.
Okay. There's several. There's not like a
It's a palette knife.
palette knife.
Yeah,
Who makes those?
the palette knife company, man. So you see them in kitchens too. That's how you get your.
Okay, so they're actually used in kitchens as well, or are they?
Some of these are kitchen ones. I got this. Most of these I got from
I got this from Walmart.
from another screen printer who was going out of business.
What are those ones?
These are cool palette knives because they
Oh, you can like scrape the inside of the.
they hook on the inside.
Oh.
Very clever.
Wow.
Aluminum.
Different. Never seen those.
I went and made it dirty. So these are
Who makes
being
that?
cleaned. So this is like a cleaning station.
Bucketscoop.com.
Boom! Look at that. Just
Buck,
sold
shout out Bucket Scoop. They need to sponsor Action T-shirts right here
Please.
because we're giving you.
Send me some free shit, please. So inks.
Yep.
Then screens. And then these are screens that are going to be restretched
Ooh.
because bad things happen.
Is that the Eco screen I see right there? Or no?
Eco?
Yeah. Have you seen those?
Tell me about eco screens.
You can. It's like basically just like a frame, and you pop it in.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't have that cool thing, man.
Okay. I was looking at the yellow one. And
There's a lot of cool things in this industry, and I don't have many of them.
well, I've already seen
Yeah.
two.
Oh yeah, our fancy ink knives.
Scooper.
So yeah, I am again staying in my lane, keeping it a little bit Spartan. You know, if I'm not spending a ton of money and I don't have a ton of debt, I can keep my prices competitive, et cetera, et cetera.
And I did notice yesterday when we were printing the shirts.
Wood screens.
Yes, still got the wood screens in use.
We have wood screens. I won't buy any new ones. These are all really old. Some of them
Oh, wait. Oh, nice.
handmade by yours truly.
Uh-oh.
Handmade by a local artist. Look at that miter joint. Notice the landscape. You know, that's not going to rust, people.
I like
Forever.
I like what the name of this is over here. Long-term keepers.
Long-term keepers. We got keepers. We got need soons. And we got reclaim.
Okay.
All right? Everything needs a label.
That's a long-term keeper. You're really keeping
That's your
well.
Keeper. This is Frank. Frank's my boy. And then we have our screen room. So these are the need soons. This is stuff that'll be printed in the next day, 2, 3, 4. And then come with me to the screen room. So that has a door that closes, and our exposure unit.
Looks new. Looks nice.
It's not.
It's not?
It's the new Arc 3140. It's got the vacuum table. You know,
Locks in. Yep.
one big scary bulb that costs like $200 and lasts about 4 or 5 years. So before this, this was our exposure unit,
Nice.
which is just a light table with grow lights in it because you need that UV to expose, and we would weigh it down with bricks so it wouldn't move, and we would get an egg timer and set it for like 20 to 35 minutes depending on your mesh count, and now this exposes in like 20 seconds. So it was a game changer. Game changer. And so I've had this maybe 15 years.
Wow.
So
Oh, yeah.
The founder of Action T-shirts, Ernie Ferguson, was my boss, and he built this. He built a press just with some hinges and started a business in his kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In 1980, and I came in going to art school down the road at VCU in '87, and he was in the basement of a record store, Bohannon's Records. They didn't sell a lot of records. Mostly what they sold were like bongs and stuff like that, of that nature. So it was a lot of character, you know. But it was very Spartan setup, and from there we moved to Carytown. We were up by where the McDonald's is in the upper part of Carytown for years. Then we moved to Scott's Addition, and then where Long Oven is, fancy restaurant. Then we moved one over to where the meadery is, and then we moved our building got demolished today, Zach. The old building. I'm a little traumatized. I wanted to go. Anyway.
Go watch it.
Yeah, I really did. I had like a cooler packed and everything. I couldn't get away. We're busy. So we expose them there. We drive in here. There's a fan.
Oh, really?
There's a little like cheap little ceramic heater. You can keep it warm.
This is the first like drying booth I feel like I've ever
Get
seen.
outta here.
Most people just use the sun.
No, don't do that, people. Look, so these are still wet because we were reclaiming today. You know.
Or they just have like a big ass drum fan.
No, you can buy a drying cabinet, but
Okay.
you're a fool if you do because look how easy it is to make a box with some shelves and a fan and a vent at the top if you want to get fancy. Just make sure it's dark because you're going to store your screens in here too. Once we coat them with emulsion and we dry them, then we store them away. Keep this out of the light. Then the blowout booth, which is a shower.
This is incredible.
You can buy one of these too, but you're a fool if you do because I mean you can just use a shower. So you know, a really good one would have like backlighting, but you know maybe I'll customize that down the road. There's the dip tank. It's not a murder scene, but it could be.
I feel like only the second dip tank I've seen too.
Yeah, dip tanks, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And again, you can buy a big machine the length of this room that will reclaim your screens for you. And probably it would cost as much as what it takes to pay a guy a year's wages of reclaiming screens. So now that I think about it, you're fired, Matt. I'm going to go ahead and buy that machine and get it in. Why haven't I done that yet? So it's all a part of like the technology is always advancing. But the end result is still just a T-shirt that's printed. So I'm trying to keep it lean and mean. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to take over the world. So here's
Is that the moon or?
That is the moon.
Cool.
Next question. So we have some Halloween leftovers. There, if you go, there's some storage up here above our screen room. There's a scary Frank. You have a pumpkin guy. There's Halloween stuff. Stored.
Big Halloween guy.
The basement. Let's not talk about it. Here's my brand new furnace. Ooh, la, la.
Oh.
Keeping it
Is
cool.
this the most expensive machine in the building?
No, did we go by the automatic? We didn't.
We haven't
do the
even-
presses.
no.
We'll circle back.
The kitchen's more important.
Kitchen. So yeah, don't look at my dirty dishes, man. Look, like the retro table.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Retro.
It's chrome fitted.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. Don't look at the holes. Look. Are we like MTV Cribs?
Yeah. Grab a drink.
There's some beverages. Yeah, that's embarrassing. So,
This is where the magic happens.
my next business venture is to open a restaurant and sell people these things.
And not tell them that
A
it's.
little green onion on top. $6, easy.
How much do they cost in the pack like that?
$1.30 nowadays. They've gone up a lot. So much.
The business model has changed.
I can live on these things and Mountain Dew for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah. And look.
I'm pretty sure most dietitians recommend a diet as such.
Yeah, and we're health nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, so and also.
Water, though.
Having a kitchen was a real thing. We put all this in here.
Not
so
every
we're
shop you've
remodeling.
had has had a kitchen, I assume.
Having a kitchen means that yes, I can live here if I have to. So, if I need to, I will. If you're waiting on an order from me, know that I'm living here, so I can print your T-shirts just for you, so you get them
ASAP.
at your deadline. So, also, this was a game changer. I call it crack because it's addictive. I like a sweet crack and I like a savory crack. Usually you'd see like some Takis or some Doritos. I'm kind of off my game. But this one is cereal. They're all peanut based.
I was about to say, I can't try either of them.
Nope, he's not peanuts.
No nuts.
Zach, there's no nuts. So, yeah, so don't touch the crack, Zach. There's bathrooms over there. You don't want to go into the bathrooms. Are we going into the bathrooms?
I mean, the
Unless you
floor
wanna
actually
see-
kind of looks cool.
Have you seen a gold brick?
No.
So this is still, this is da-da-da-da, new floor to match the old floor. So we painted it black. This is the old floor. It's gross. But I do want to show off the gold bricks.
Oh, wow.
It's so fancy. It's very fancy.
Just decided not to finish painting
I'm
that
gonna
one.
paint. I gotta take this out to paint. And then the stickers on the vintage paper towel dispenser.
I'll be throwing some of mine on there.
Oh, that'd be good. I would love that. Okay, we got that out of the way. Here, but wait, it's all about the press, man.
Of course.
So come back to the big shop room. We have our, we got a Anatol all electric Volt, 8/10, 8 heads over 10 pallets. And I was one of those guys. We had 2 flashes on here. You can take them off if you need to. We have a roller screen for smashing.
What is that for?
It's you print the color and you dry it with the flash, and then while it's still hot, you just roll it over with some pressure, and it makes it nice and smooth. And it'll take like a white print with a little defibrillation, like the hairiness of the ink, flattens it out. It'll make it more opaque, and it just makes it look better, feel better. And if you're printing on top of that, it's gonna make the print mwah. So, because it's a nice smooth surface for all those other inks to sit on top of. Roller squeegee. Boom.
First time I've seen one or been told about one. So
Yeah. So before, I heard of it and I was like, man, good idea. So you can kind of do it with the, if you just tape a squeegee out, tape a screen out, no ink. Well, actually, you put some ink in there, anything. But you're not going to print the ink. You just need it for lubrication.
yeah,
And
just
just
to roll
use
over.
a squeegee. You can just, the roller's better because
Yeah.
it's less resistance. But you can basically just put pressure on it with a squeegee.
And I'm assuming this roller squeegee is not as expensive as those digital squeegees that we were talking about.
No, that's a whole different scary thing. No, it's still more expensive than you want it to be. Everything on here is just like, it adds up. So,
Gadgets and gizmos.
yeah, man. So we got a squeegee shelf. We got some extra squeegee lying around. I need to get some more.
I've never seen it just like out
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can buy it in lengths. This is, I think it's,
Oh, because you can just keep the holder and then just put in new.
yeah, I think it's 90 durometer. They need to color code these so they're all the same, but they're not. So
Everyone just kind of
squeegee
decides.
stiffness is measured in durometers. 70 to 90 is the typical range.
I
The
don't know.
lower
What
the
does that
number, the
mean?
Softer. It's the softness of the rubber.
Oh, okay.
So, and here's a split durometer, and this is actually a split squeegee. It's a double squeegee. So if it's layered with different durometers, so it's got a stiffer core, and it seemed like a great idea, but we hardly ever use it.
Still cool to show off though.
Yeah. So automatic press, manual press, 6/6. This is by Anatol.
Shout out to Anatol.
They're made in Poland, and they're based in Chicago in the States.
And they should send you a free one.
That would be nice. I have done videos for them to show off their stuff.
That's awesome. Shout out to Anatol. Then.
Yeah, I really don't have any complaints. Everyone's got complaints, but we love it, man. And it's not a pneumatic press, which is this thing is like quiet.
And you got the touch screen as
Runs
well.
like a dream. Yeah, we got the foot switch. It's amazing. And everyone that says, like, as soon as you buy an automatic press, you'll regret not having done it earlier. That's true. Because I told myself I would never buy one. And then I did. And then I was like, why didn't I do that sooner?
Because you were using this.
Because I did this, and I love it. I'm still more at home on this because I came up with this printing manually for, I don't really do the moon, but it's like 20 years, you know? And, but it got so bad to where I couldn't pick up a gallon of milk. My elbows were like shot. The pain, you know?
Yep.
So,
I see a familiar design right there.
we got the fitty still up from its little run.
And who makes this press here?
This is
The Legend series.
the Antec. It's made in Charlottesville, you know, hour and a half from here.
Oh, nice. And
Very
do
small
they?
company.
I was about to say, do they still make?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I think it's as good as a manual press can get. It's my second one. Before the Legend, we had a 6/4, and I
Same
forget what it
company?
was. Same company, yeah. And I just wanted to upgrade, and I sold the other one because it was still a perfectly fine press to a tattoo company in Gainesville, South Carolina. Old Salt Tattoo.
Shout out.
Because they're like, we're going to print our own stuff from now on.
I'll throw up their IG on there.
Yeah.
Tell me about the dryer.
The dryer, it's my second dryer. The first one was just too small. I bought this dryer before I bought the automatic press. I would have got a bigger one. Trust me, I would have got a bigger one. A wider one, a longer one, anything. But it's all quartz.
Workhorse.
Workhorse. Yeah, bought it new and plugged it up. Didn't work. And to their credit, they scrambled, and some guy drove down from Delaware that day, showed up that evening, and broke open his toolbox and popped this guy open. And 3 hours later, he's like, "Son of a bitch! They reversed the relays on this." And I was like, "Cool." And then the thermometer I replaced because I was told that the one that it came with wasn't any good. Good to know. And then the motor I replaced. It still works, and it's if I had a bunch of money lying around, I would get a bigger, better one from another company. But it does work. The one I had before was it was a Hicks
Okay.
dryer, smaller, less power, and it never gave us a moment's trouble. And this one did from day one. So little heartbreak.
But you make it happen.
Yeah. Here's a drying rack.
Yep.
Because we actually printed some posters the other day.
Cool.
Don't do that very often, but it happens. It's kind of fun.
Heat presses.
Heat presses, have them. Don't love them. It's not our core business. But if we got to do some player names on the back, or I'm about to do some visors.
And you're just printing that on like Ryonet sheets and then heat pressing it on there with screen print, or do you do vinyl too? No vinyl.
I don't use the V word. Vinyl is awesome because it sends a lot of people to actual screen printers. Because they're like, I got this thing, it's peeling
Cracked,
off.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, welcome to Action T-shirts. We're going to hook you up. Because I'm going to print something.
Vinyl's good
that's
for
still
some stuff though. Like
It's-
your big ass sign up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah. Does it last?
Doesn't wear well. I mean, printing on fabric is kind of silly. You know, it's very challenging.
Mm.
You beat the shit out of a shirt. You wash it. You know, washing your shirt and drying it is the worst thing you can do for its longevity. But we don't want to be smelly bastards, so we do it all the time.
That's true. Then we got a flash dry, right?
We do have a flash cure for the manual.
Oh, but that's also
Come around, doo-doo-doo, dry it.
we don't want to
between
speak
colors.
their name anymore.
This has been okay. I haven't started any fires with it.
Then we got some sleeve pallets, other pallets, and
Right, pallet shelf for the manual. A lot of these are handmade for onesies, or for big sleeves, short sleeves, pockets. But I got a booty pallet here for booty prints too, with a seam down the middle. Because you can't print over a seam, man. That's just silly. And my
Office.
desk, so I can sit here with the job board behind me and yell at my folks. So to be clear, I don't screen print. because I have employees that do that for me. But I did a whole lot of screen print. I still
You think your numbers are still higher than anyone else that works for you?
my numbers as far as total prints.
Yeah.
I mean, my guy Doug, you met.
Yep.
He printed before he worked here,
It's true.
and I mean, it's not really fair when you're on the auto. I've printed plenty on the auto.
You got them on manual though.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I got most folks beat on the manual. I mean, 20 years, dude. So yeah, the our auto, it's worth mentioning, is over 1 million imprints at this point.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
knock wood, man. But, so and there's no counter on the manual, so I have no idea. You know,
It's cool that it counts that though.
it is.
I didn't know that.
That's the least it could do. You know,
That's like the least impressive thing you could do is just count how many it
yeah,
prints.
no, it keeps track.
All the other things are like way cooler, but I'm like,
Yeah.
but it counts.
It does. It's a lot going on there, and it is printing on an auto is a completely different animal than printing on the manual for dozens of reasons. Then we have our work order catalog. So every job we've done for the past 20 years is in here somewhere.
Wow.
Keeping a work order is super important. It's a lifesaver. And then back to Debbie's desk, my wife Deborah, co-owner, goddess of everything, keeps this whole thing floating. She greets people, answers the phones, does the emails, does the billing, does the ordering, does like the bookkeeping, accounting, the taxes, everything that I can't do and
I
then
don't
some.
want to do.
Yeah. So it's been a blessing that she came to work for us and partner up like that. We can talk more about that when we sit down.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
that is the tour of.
So that was our Carytown location, but yeah, the old school logo designed by Tom Edwards,
Shout out.
Richmond artist. I'm not changing it because it's like simple and recognizable at this point.
Yes.
We've been around so long. It's been amazing.
I mean, it's hard to create design that lasts that long and that can, last through different, eras of design. Because like people almost want to like make something that looks like that now to make it look like it was made when it was, you know what I mean? It's like weird that we go in these like cycles, but
It is.
but yeah, that was the tour of Action T-shirts with my man Eric. Thank you. Tell me what you were saying about the table.
But yeah, we took great pains to find the most cinematic angle.
What was it that you just said?
This is our rolling table. It was, I mean, honestly, it's so shitty. I just figured let's cover it in some rags.
Okay, tell me about did you put the shirt up or?
The rag? Oh,
Yeah. Let's go ahead and bring
in our
that
tour,
up.
I neglected to point out our long-term rag shirt. It was like a project. There's always ink that needs to be cleaned up. Turn it inside out. Give it a flip. What are you going to find?
More ink. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's just,
I feel like you could sell this thing for like $1,000 at least.
sold.
Not for me.
Wait, you just heard it here.
I said you
offered me
could.
$1,000.
You could do it.
Well,
I believe in you to do it.
You got to invest in this T-shirt. Zach. Okay, 900. But we were honestly wondering if we could just get it so caked with ink if it would just stand up on its own, but it's no. Plastisol is sort of plastic rubbery substance.
Mm.
So
I think it's time for some more ink on there
there's
though.
that gem. Actually, I've made some kind of interesting. Not in a long time. It just occurred to me. We had like a stainless steel table. Any slick surface, you spray it down with like some solvent to get it kind of wet, and then put a little bit of ink in there, and then get a shirt and wrinkle it up and scrub the ink off, and it comes away sort of like a poor man's tie-dye.
That's
Kinda neat.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can do. I mean, obviously it's the same thing as tie dyeing, but bleach dyes is pretty fun too.
Yeah.
With like black shirts, and you just All right. So Eric, the owner of Action T-shirts.
It's true.
Tell me, because you said there was an original guy who started it. Tell me this, because this is what I like to start off with everyone. Take me back. You don't know anything about T-shirts. You don't know anything about screen printing.
Nothing at all.
What happened?
Because
you went to school for art at VCU, like you said in the.
Let's go back further. Further back. So
Yes. You learned how to walk.
High school shop class.
Okay.
They had a little screen.
I'm actually very jealous because that doesn't exist anymore.
What?
Apparently, yeah.
No.
I never. Even if we had shop class, I guarantee you they wouldn't have done screen printing. But no, there was never an option for.
They had home ec too.
They don't do that anymore. It's not like a thing.
You had to do like home ec, learn how to bake a cookie, sew a thing.
My mom says the same thing, and I don't want to make you.
So in shop class,
because she learned how to screen print in high school too.
We had a screen printing segment, a week, maybe two, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I couldn't even tell you how we exposed it, honestly. Pretty much the shop teacher did most of it. And at the end of it, we all brought a shirt in and we could print it. I'm not proud of this. But so, again, okay, I'm old. Our class screen print was class of 86. That's 1986, people, before you were born. Shut up.
You don't want to know when I was born.
Get off my lawn. So I was the guy who was like, oh, I'm going to be clever. I'm not going to make class of 86 because probably you could cover up that C and the L and make something that's naughty. So that was my first screen print. And it made me famous.
Still raking in money off of that design.
So I really didn't, that.
I bet you make a killing at the high school reunions with that design.
You're the guy.
You're the ass guy.
You're bald now. What happened? It's the fumes. But so, fast forward a little bit, going to school at VCU. I was a sculpture major, and that did, that turned into this. So, what happened was before school even started, I was like, I need a job, and I went to the employment office at the.
Now that you're saying sculpture, I see why you turned the press into a crab and other things.
Yeah, it's nice to exercise that muscle.
Yes,
make some weird
I was
stuff.
about to say, why aren't there any sculptures in here?
I mean, I've been busy, Zach.
That are like that are permanent.
Been printing t-shirts for the last 30-some. Why?
Have you ever thought about making Have you ever thought about making a T-shirt sculpture?
Are you trying to blow my mind and give me the 1,000-yard stare? Look, I'm trying to tell a story.
I'm sorry. My mind is similar to yours. I mean, it goes everywhere. I can't. Yeah.
What? Look. So,
I'm sorry.
So I went to the employment office at BC, very big state school,
Yes.
university. That again, this is back in the before computers. I don't know.
This is back.
Look, man.
When before computers. Now we have a computer in our pockets.
We had to write like kink, kink, kink. That's like a stone tablet.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to explain it. So the employment office to find a job. New to the town, got my shitty little apartment, about to start school, and it was literally a Rolodex. Do you even know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A Rolodex of business cards. That's what it was. And so I was like, action T-shirts, screen printing. Yeah, I have vast amounts of experience in that, and it's really the only one I called.
As the first one?
The only one.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was like, I'm going to take that number, called Ernie Ferguson, founder of Action T-Shirts.
Shout out to Ernie.
Ernie. And it was in the basement of Bohannon's Records on Gray Street, which, they're long gone. But just a basement shop in this funky old record store that was really
much airflow in
more
there?
Of a head shop. No, yeah, it was funky. It was literally funky. And I remember I dressed up for the interview because I wanted the job, and that's what you do. You come in with a little respect.
Yeah, you want to look presentable. Yes.
That's right. clearly overdressed. He hired me on the spot. God bless him, and it set the course of my life ever since. Honestly, I had no idea.
So you're a
You know,
freshman. You started working there.
I was. I'd done a sophomore, I guess. I was going through the freshman program, but I did 1 year of college at Christopher Newport College, which is now Christopher Newport University,
Never heard of it.
in Newport News, Virginia,
Okay.
my hometown.
Cool.
Living at home. for the
Shout out
first year
Newport
of
News.
college. Yeah. And so got the job and worked through school. I worked for Ernie. Man, I really should have done the math. I mean, it was 86, 87 when I started. And I never worked a 40-hour week. He kind of had his whole thing dialed in. I mean, I guess he'd only been there
How many people were working there at the time?
0.
You and him.
Me and him.
Wow. And why did he never? He just didn't feel like he never ever needed to hire anyone else, or he just like at this point in time, it just the timing worked out to where he felt like he could use some more help, or what? Like,
Yeah, he was getting busy and didn't want to do everything his damn self.
Yeah.
You know? So I would come in when he needed me. It wasn't even a regular schedule.
oh, okay, it was like on call basis.
Yeah, and it was like that for the whole time.
Okay.
It was never a regular schedule, so it was beneficial to both of us, mostly to him, I guess. Now that I'm thinking of it.
I was about to say it would be nice, but it would also
He was a perfect employee.
it would suck if you're like
I took
it's a Saturday and you're like about to go to the pool with your friends or something, and he's like,
friends. Oh, friends.
forgot about
Oh,
those.
No. So no, it was really never weekends.
Okay.
And it usually wasn't even a full shift at that point.
Mm.
It was just come in,
Knock
get
out
a
an
couple
order.
jobs. It was just dependent on the amount of work that he was dealing with.
Mm.
So and then I took a summer, went back home, and got a job at Foxy Screen Printing in Hampton or Newport
Okay.
News, and sort of got exposed to like another shop, which was cool. Had like a full staff, an artist on staff, 3 presses,
Did it a little different.
3 manual presses, 2 dryers, and all the characters that were there, and came back and got rehired and basically never left for 15, 20 years. I don't even know.
When did the transfer? How did that like come about? Like, when did you know you wanted to take over, and when did he know you were the one that was going to take over? I'm sure he knew probably honestly like early on.
Yeah, I mean, so the Action T-shirts moved around town. I guess I mentioned in the walkthrough several locations, sort of upscaling as we went. Having at one point being in Carytown, having a retail front and having like shirts for sale, and that's
You still have that, but the like area is not like the same as over there. If you're not from
Yeah.
Richmond, like Carytown, very walkable, lots of shops. This
Yeah.
is like more street, like you know.
But in the end, when you're trying to print T-shirts for a living, you don't want the interruption of looky-loos and retailers coming in,
It's true.
buying a little this and that. And
Unless
we-
you just had someone on staff to just like
Oh, yeah.
be up, yeah.
We had the heat press with the iron-on letters. I still have them up there, like the old felty ones, custom lettering.
Yeah.
Somebody come in, want a whole paragraph of shit on their shirt. There's your whole afternoon, dude. You
Yeah.
get like $12. So it wasn't a great business model, but the T-shirts were flowing more or less, and over the years it was alluded that I would maybe take over, buy it from him, whatever. And I am not that guy. I am not an entrepreneurial spirit. I am not a business person.
Let me ask you this though: when you were like a child, did you ever like were you like no? You weren't washing cars. You weren't like lemonade stand, like nothing ever. There's something. There has to be. There's usually something that like.
Wow, I guess I grew up in a pretty creative atmosphere. I had older brothers. We would do like puppet shows
Okay.
and stuff. As the youngest kid, I was
You were
sort of
never selling
tag
anything,
along, selling
or
anything.
like selling your services as like I'll run your newspaper, like.
So,
you know.
so I'm saying I'm not entrepreneurial, blah, 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 this and that, and I will say money doesn't motivate me.
Mm.
Like, but I'm a hard fucking worker. and I started working when I was 14.
Mm.
You know, janitor at the church my family went to.
Nice.
You know, go in like every Saturday, or after weddings or funerals or whatever, just making a little bit of money.
And what at the time? Why did you want to make that money?
To spend to
For?
buy records.
Okay, there you go.
Before, you know, you had to buy. Don't get me started. If you heard a song on the radio, and you would have to buy the whole record.
Uh-huh.
And back then, in 1980, whatever, a record was like $12,
Yeah.
$16.
Expensive.
That's like a month's worth of
Work.
of Apple Music. You know what I mean? So
How much did you get paid? Do you remember?
the church job, I got $30 a week, and it was extras. For
30
events.
bucks a week.
$30.
But you were only going in once, you said.
Saturday. It was like maybe, you know, it was probably not 8 hours, probably like 6 hours.
Okay. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
$30
$30
a week.
for one shift. Ride my bike there.
Yeah.
14.
Then what? Like, what is your after
Completely
that?
illegal. It's totally illegal. And then I worked in a kitchen at People's Restaurant, and that was the fun kind of zoo.
Okay.
My first shift was on Mother's Day. It was very traumatic. And
That is
I was
pretty.
like a line cook. You know, I applied to like wash dishes or bus tables, but they saw something in me.
On the first day, they put you in the lineup.
Well, no, I trained for a
Okay.
day, but my first day my first working day, yeah,
Was
Mother's Day. I almost walked off. I was like, it was a zoo. So it's funny because my daughter's working at a restaurant, and she'd only been there a couple of weeks. And Mother's Day, she worked on Mother's Day. I was like, you better be ready. It's gonna be ape shit.
I still have nightmares about
Yeah.
that.
It was a lot.
All right, yeah, that's. I do like to
So
hear the
work
history of
history,
yeah.
So I had
Because
other
just to
jobs,
see is
for
like
sure.
where how it led to this. But like you said, you just needed a job when you got to college. That was
Right.
basically
Well, so yeah, I mean, when you go to art school, you don't give a shit about a job. At least this guy didn't.
yeah.
Knowing I'm going to graduate with a degree in sculpture, and realizing like I'm gonna work somewhere and they're gonna pay me something, and I'm gonna work like I mean it.
What's the most you've ever sold a sculpture for?
No,
You don't sell your.
let's back up.
Yeah.
I got the degree.
Yeah. Did you ever do anything? Make any sculptures
Out of
after
school, no. Well, I made a couple gifts for like
Okay,
wedding gifts
okay.
for friends.
that? Okay.
So no sales.
Okay.
No sales. It's about the art, man.
I agree.
Not the money.
I like making art for people for free more than I like selling it
Don't
because
tell
it's
people that.
uninhibited. It's when you're making it and
Yes.
you know that it's like a surprise or like there's not like it's like shirts too. Like that's why I like to experiment with different things and mix different mediums together because when it comes to screen printing. Crap! I just lost my train of thought now.
Mixed media, art.
Mixed media
making
art.
money.
Oh, not making money. Yes. When you're doing an order,
Yeah.
you're locked in. It has to be this way. We want the color to come out exactly like this. When someone orders a piece of art from me, because I can do custom
Right.
pieces, we want it these colors. You're locked in a box. Whereas if you're making something for someone and it's a surprise gift,
Yeah.
they don't know it's coming.
Freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's just because you want to make something. It's you're not even planning. You're
Yeah.
just making.
No.
So I agree with you there. But
Within there, you made a really good point about screen printing that I think most people don't have a clue about, is that every job we do is customized to an artist's
To that
expectations.
to that customer.
Right.
It's customized to the customer.
So it's not like if I'm making cookies, I get to make a recipe for cookies that taste delicious. And I can make chocolate cookies. I can make all kind of cookies and sell them to you. And you like them, you love them, you hate them, whatever. Everything we do here is for somebody else's approval. It's their organization. It's their design. It's their baby in a lot of ways. And we gotta deliver those babies in as good a shape as we can.
Mm.
And the pressure for that can be overwhelming. I mean, do you know how many different colors of green there are? Because it's a lot, my friend.
We saw earlier.
It's a lot of greens in the world.
Yeah.
Don't tell me teal. Don't you say teal to me. Show me something.
Yeah.
Give me a number. Let's get this right.
Yes.
So and you learn things the hard way, being loosey-goosey, and you get burnt.
You do follow a recipe per se though for every for it is custom to the customer, but like each customer is gonna have a recipe that it's like, all right, we need to hit.
Or
It's-
not.
Yeah, that's true.
If you say red, well, I mean, it comes from the art file. Hopefully there is one.
Yeah.
There's always something, or not. Some guys, some customers are super chill.
Yeah.
I mean, you get like a contractor comes in, a landscaper, he's wearing a shirt, he has a business card, boom, you have to design something. Maybe it's just text, that's fine. Just text on a shirt, that's fine. Except there's like the 2 million fonts. So
To match the font.
Which font are you picking?
Yeah.
You're designing from scratch. So you have to send him. A friend of mine, Chris, he sent me something. He had an idea. It's just some text on a shirt. He's buying 50 of them. God bless him. And
It's a cool number.
he said, here's what I want. It's just some words and an idea of how to size the text. And I think he realized I was not getting on it as promptly as he wished. So he sent me a file, and I'm not even shitting you. It was in Comic Sans, the font, Comic Sans.
On like Word.
Yes, which I wanted to think was a joke, but I think it was probably not a joke. So I went through, I got the verbiage out.
Yeah.
The spelling was right, I hope. And scrolled through my Illustrator, all my fonts, and gave him like 8 different options with 16 different fonts.
And he said, "No, I'll take the comic."
No, he picked the one I liked, which is cool.
Okay.
But like
People don't realize all these different things that go into like what it takes to actually. That's why I'm actually doing this.
Yeah.
This is because one of the reasons is because there is a huge disconnect between someone like you or me that has now seen the behind the scenes of what it takes to actually get it printed, and someone just on the street has no idea.
Yeah.
They just assume, honestly, what I think most people assume how t-shirts are made is similar to how DTG shirts are printed. They just think it's a blank t-shirt and it loads into a machine
in shop class,
and it just,
so people know.
yeah, and it's just a machine that sprays it all.
Yeah.
Whereas like when there's so many people that have told me too, where I'll post the videos and they're like, I had no idea that someone's hands were actually pressing the ink into the shirt and stuff like that. So
It's
like,
kinda cool.
I'm hoping to bridge that gap
Yeah.
a little bit so that
We
like,
get that from first-time clients or people seeing what's up and step in, and like that's between our showroom and the workspace. I was gonna put doors there, but I've decided not to. Just to leave it wide open. Just like check it out. Yeah, look right here. We're doing it right now. you
Yeah.
know? And it is kind of cool to educate people
and
'Cause
feed their curiosity
Right.
because you needed yours fed when you
Yeah.
wanted to grow within the industry,
Right.
Which is, I feel like screen printing, it does exist in every industry, but in this industry, in my opinion, it does seem like there is a lot of gatekeeping and like, I'm not going to tell, like,
There is and there isn't. I think it's improved with social media. People
because they
you can go
know
on-
they need
shit, you
to.
can go on YouTube and learn how to do
Yeah,
whatever. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think it's yes and no. I mean, there's always going to be that element.
Yeah.
So I mean, and also how finally do you define gatekeeping? I get people sometimes every now and then. I'll get a phone call. Be like, can I buy a screen from you? Like, will you expose a screen for me? And how much would that cost? And I'm like, no, I will not. I need all the screens I have, and exposing a screen, if you're gonna screen print, exposing a screen is one of the biggest hurdles, and you're gonna have to suffer just like all of us did. And you're gonna put it in the sun, you're gonna do whatever, you're gonna buy a fancy toy to make it happen. But I'm not exposing screens and selling them to people so they can go out and make shitty prints with it. I don't want any part of that. You know what I mean? It's like
I wouldn't consider that gatekeeping. It's just like you're not offering that as a part of your business,
don't
which
know
is
who
normal.
would.
Yeah, exactly.
you can go online and I mean I just
You can order them where I
it's
order
like,
them from.
It's like $75
Yeah.
if you want to buy a screen
Yeah.
pre-exposed.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know you could do that.
you can.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but you can do it.
Yeah. I thought you were just saying for the screen. I was like, yeah, of course.
No,
Yeah.
like a pre-stretched screen is probably $35, depending. But then the emulsion and whatever, and they have a lifespan. They get loose or they get torn.
Sorry.
So, back to the origin story.
Origin story. Yeah, we can fast forward into the
so-
different shops.
Well, so
First
one
time you
day-
got the auto. Tell
So
me.
eventually, Ernie comes to me, and now I'm married. I have kids. I remember asking for a raise, like sitting him down, having a conversation, like, man, can I get paid more? And he paid me very well, but it was definitely a convenience thing. I mean, he was, an on-call screen printer, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, well, why do you think you need a raise? I was like, dude, I got kids. I got mouths to feed. He's like, you want a raise because you had kids. I was like, yeah, I guess I do. He gave it to me. Anyways, flash forward, at this point, I have 4 kids. We had twins. My wife, God bless her, had 4 kids in 3.5 years. And she had a degree in accounting, and she was a CPA.
Okay.
So very pragmatic young woman.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a degree. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna support myself. And this guy was like, I'm gonna get a degree in something that I think is cool and not give a fuck about money. And so these 2 people fell in love and got married. And this is how it worked. And I was working screen printing. I was doing some part-time job here and there, whatever. And I was at-home dad for years because 1 kid in daycare, okay, 4 kids in daycare. I mean, I couldn't make that money in a week,
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't a hard decision to make, and that's a whole different story, just the shifting in roles
Yeah.
and all that, and
Who's the bread maker?
breadwinner.
Yeah.
It's like, is my pride hurt? Do I give a fuck? You know what I mean? It's a thing. And
I mean, it's real. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but no,
no.
it's real. Yeah.
yeah. So
Because that's a real conversation you have to have with someone. I mean,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people it affects
So,
them differently than like.
at-home dads are everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like feeling a little shame about it. When
Yeah.
It's like the best job in the world.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
So trust me, many a day I'd be like, I'd rather be digging ditches, And but Debbie,
You would
and
do
I-
anything to go back and do it now, I bet.
No, yeah. So Ernie just calls me up one day, and I'm expecting, show up on Thursday night. We got some stuff to print, but he's like, so yeah, I'm thinking about selling, and I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, what do you think? And I was like, totally indifferent, and I kind of suspected the day might come, but I was like, I really don't know, dude. He's like, just think about it. And then he kind of put a number down, and it seemed too good. He really made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And I honestly didn't want to, but sitting down with Debbie, and it's like, this makes a lot of sense. And we can afford this, and this, how to do it. You can step right into it.
Yes.
You've worked at this shop for 15, 20 years. I don't
Yeah.
even,
And you eat, and it's the type of job like any entrepreneur or small business, but it's like you eat what you kill. So it's like you're a hard worker, your work ethic, and you trust in that to say, I know how to run the business.
Right.
All I have to do is go out and get
Right.
business. Like it's just all work ethic at that point.
It was. And I had that in spades because for 3 years I worked by myself, and I've said no to almost nothing, and my hours were 10 to whenever my kids got off the bus, maybe 2:30. So I would call forward the shop phone to my cell phone, and I got a lot of jobs because I was answering my phone after 5, 6, 7, 9 o'clock at night. T-shirt emergencies are real, and those are the money jobs. A
Rush order.
job, like for what, I will pick up the phone at 8:30 in the evening, and we'll talk about what you need, and I'm gonna jump on it first thing tomorrow, and you're gonna pay me a lot of money for that. So, I was like the rush order king.
Nice.
There's nobody else who takes those calls, you know what I mean? And being lean and mean, like, I wasn't always booked up with work to where I had room for that.
Yep.
But also working by yourself, it was a nightmare because I would come in the morning, click on the press, or click on the dryer, and get the screens up on the manual press, and start to plan my day out for printing. And the phone would ring, people would drop by, this and that, and I'd look up and it'd be 5 o'clock, and I ain't printed a damn shirt. And that means
That's my guy in chat, bro. That's Antonio back at Humanities. I mean, that's him. He's got 2 and he's the one.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's rough.
yeah. And then there's people walking in all the time
Yeah.
and
Our
pulling him away
Friends come by and say hi.
Yeah.
You're like,
on the phone. People emailing him. You know.
it's hard to maintain. It's impossible to sustain, because 5 o'clock rolls around. I can finally shut the door and not answer the phone, and guess what? This guy's there at the shop, so all that shit's printed.
Mm.
So I pushed myself farther than I should have, as far as like going without sleep. I mean, I was like a major caffeine addict. I would wake up, drink coffee.
I was about to say, what is it? Pure coffee?
I would drink coffee, and then I would switch to Mountain Dew, and often it would be like dinner time, and I was like, everything I've drank today has been caffeinated.
Yeah. No water.
Water, what? Maybe ice?
Ice in
Honestly,
the Mountain
I
Dew.
did that for too long, and I would bend over backwards to meet deadlines, because if I say something, I'm gonna move mountains to make that happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that where you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Or a deadline's a deadline, dude.
Yeah.
You need shirts for an event. You can't not make that deadline.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between an actual deadline and something that's said. So it happened way too much. I'd be up all night printing a job, and I call them in the morning. Your stuff's ready, man. Come pick it up. Right on deadline. And you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'll pick it up next week. I'm like, no.
That's fucked up.
So
That's fucked up.
there's a hard deadline. There's a soft deadline. That knowing the difference is key. It's a valuable lesson, and it's a
One that you learned.
Part
When
of
did
the-
you apply?
part of the conversation when an order comes in. Like, when do you need these? When do you really need these? But I've worked 72-hour days on more than one occasion,
Wow.
and
And now you don't print at all.
I do print
A little bit.
some
Yeah.
when I have to, when I want to.
Yeah. You
Oh.
can choose when you print, I would say now.
Mostly.
Whereas
Sometimes
now.
somebody
before-
calls in sick, I might have to jump in.
Okay, yeah.
But I got an amazing crew, and I'm blessed to have them, and I'm super grateful for all their time and effort. I wouldn't be here without them, because
Well, it's nice because you've been a part of it. You know, and most guys who end up, most people who end up owning their own shops, at some point before worked under someone else that kind of taught them the
you
ropes.
hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of the traditional tradesman experience, like apprenticeship.
Yes.
Without the titles, but that's kind of how you come up. You learn some way or another.
Yeah. But now
And then
it's
somebody,
just
hey, you want to buy this shop? And you're like, nah, not really.
now it's just YouTube and asking shops if they'll pre-expose their screens
Well,
for.
I mean, so yeah.
No, but most places I've gone, or I would say all of them at this point, yeah, they have like a mentor that basically
Yeah,
guides them through the ropes. But now you're that person.
I am.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is. But so the other game changer was hiring a first employee,
Mm.
and I got a really
Milestone.
I got a really good one. Like I didn't even know how lucky I was.
Yeah.
Smart, like funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like we became we're like super best friends.
Still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Who is
amazing. Kelly Barnes. The
Shout out Kelly.
super smart.
Still works here? Or no.
Hell
Yeah.
no. Fired her ass. No. She actually got like a degree in physics. Smart. Now, did I say smart? She was smart.
Too smart for T-shirts.
Way too smart. No, I tried to get her back. She actually moved away and came back. I've had several employees
Do that?
leave and come back.
That's
which
cool.
I think speaks something
Volumes.
of the workplace environment. Um, you treat your people good, and they treat you good back. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you try. And I've come a long way. I've had my moments, dude.
Yeah.
You work 72-hour days, you're not a good guy to be around. You know, or you're jacked up on caffeine or whatever. So, but the other big game changer was my wife Deborah. She was a CPA in the corporate world for years and years, like 20 years, and got the axe, got the big layoff with all these other people, and just taking it in stride. She's like, I'm gonna come into your shop, get your shit straight because it's a fucking mess,
And do the
get
books.
all your stuff. I'm sure she's helping me with the books, but certainly with the taxes. But as far as day to day,
Yeah.
so she came in, parked herself, and was there all day, every day with me, and tightening things up as far as like the systems and the procedures and.
Adding the woman's touch that the man can't.
No, I wouldn't even say that. Just bring in the smarts. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, and which that might be the woman's touch. I ain't gonna
They're
lie.
just smarter than men. Yeah.
I'd be hard pressed to argue against that. But so having her come in was the real game changer because she's still here with us, and she's an integral part of making everything flow. And the thing, 6 months after she got laid off, they offered her a job back, and she's like, nah.
That's actually got to be
That
super
was-
empowering.
That was
to,
like the mic drop.
yeah.
She's
See
like,
you.
You know what? So, yeah,
So that's the history of Action T-shirts. I
kind
love
of
it. Yeah.
up to that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that was, so let's tell me. Well, we did already kind of talk about it, but like
the auto.
the auto, and then like I said yesterday, I always ask people if you had to choose one, which you did say you would choose. If you have to choose a manual or auto, and you can only have one in your shop,
I mean, if I'm being pragmatic, it would have to be the auto because we
Yeah.
can print a shit ton of shirts on that thing.
yeah,
But hey Eric, you gotta spend the next 2 hours printing. I would probably go ahead and pick the manual because I like it better.
yeah,
Um,
more
So
satisfying.
for when you do something hours and hours and hours, day after day, week after week, and you're any kind of good at it, you find a way to do that brings you some kind of comfort.
Mm.
So for me, it was also very much about the music.
Mm.
Like I got a job where I can play music.
As loud as you want.
I was working nights, nobody was there, and play whatever music, listen to books on tape, podcasts nowadays, whatever. Like just having
Freedom.
I can't even describe what that means to me.
Yeah,
Like if I couldn't
literally
play-
just the music.
if I couldn't play music while we screen printed, I don't think I would have bought the business.
That's crazy.
I don't think I would be here.
Honestly,
today.
my friend from Chattanooga as well, Antonio, he's honestly in the interview with him, he's like, music is like everything to me. Like it is what keeps me like
yeah,
going.
like when I'm not listening to music, there's still something up in here.
Yeah, stuck in your head.
I mean, I'm kind of a musician. I play electric bass and a little.
Well, there's
stand-up.
a
Jam space in the basement
yeah,
for my homies.
yep.
Gotta make noise.
I would say you're more than kind of a musician. I mean, if you play music,
Yeah, I'm a musician.
yeah, there you go.
Good one.
All right.
So the da-da-da, then da-ba-da.
Yeah.
No.
Uh,
Debbie coming in.
Yeah, Debbie coming in. Tell me about the like auto, just like as far as like when you felt like, I mean, like you said earlier in the walk around part, like whenever you feel like you need it, it was like and you get it, you'll know that you needed it even like before, like even earlier, like before when it comes to the auto.
But let me, because I got sidetracked.
Okay.
The music.
Music,
the
sorry, yeah.
Printing manually, or you could on the auto. Like it was a zone.
Yes.
Like I found great comfort in that zone, but certainly it became torturous when you're doing it into the wee hours of the morning. You
Yeah.
know, like just grinding your soul down
Mm.
so somebody can have their shirts for their 4th grade field trip. You know what I mean? You're like, how is this important to me? You know, why have I made this matter so much? So there's a little bit of that soul crushingness of
Yes. So to be clear, you're
to avoid
choosing,
that. Get the auto press so you maybe get it done faster.
and you're choosing the auto.
Yeah, for a shop for common sense purposes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But I do love the manual.
Yes.
And there are
It'll
things,
always have a place in your heart
absolutely. And there are things like you mentioned it yesterday.
that you can do
There
on
are things we can do on the manual that we can't do on the auto because the auto is a machine and it's not going to give. It's not going to allow you for instance, like a split fountain is a print where you put more than one ink in the screen and you let them blend. If you think about like the classic sunset, where it's like yellow into orange. You can do that with a yellow and orange screen.
Yeah.
Or you can put yellow and orange in the sun in the screen and pull it and let it blend. It makes a nice smooth transition. It's beautiful. So a split fountain on the manual, if it's sideways, like on your shirt,
Yeah.
orange to green or whatever it is, on the auto you can't do that. That squeegee goes one direction, man. So you can do a vertical split fountain, which isn't that common. Usually they're horizontal because of, I don't know, it just seems like a thing.
Yeah.
So you walk around to the side of the screen and pull it sideways on a manual.
Yeah, it is the kind of thing sideways. I wonder if that's because of like certain countries' flags or stuff like that, you know?
I think it's mostly about sunsets or
Okay.
horizon lines,
Okay.
but certainly you can do it with anything. Or certainly, if you have a line of text and you want it to go, it's more about a format thing.
Okay.
Certainly can be vertical too.
Yes, but
You
about
can
like
them both.
how it's applied to the
Yeah.
shirt. Okay, that makes sense. Tell me, because we can start wrapping it up. What is the time? Does your phone say over there?
7 on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we've been going for like 40 minutes already.
No.
All right. This is gonna be the longest one.
Sorry.
No, you're. Trust me. Like I said, the longer the better.
So long.
'Cause there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much more to tell, Zach. We haven't
There
even gone
is.
to
I
the
mean, people
basement.
can learn. People can learn a lot from this video, and the longer the video is, the more information there is for
Yeah.
people to pick up on gems that you're dropping, right? So, tell me, you personally, like obviously, I think music is a huge part of it, but what are things you're doing on the daily that keep you from being burnt out when you're? And this could have been in the past, like you used to do more of this, or now you do more of this. But what are things you're doing on a personal level that are able to keep you sane in your own life and in your business life?
Probably trying to get out at 5.
In the morning.
No, trying to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Like actually go home and have a life.
Well, you didn't do it today because of me. So.
No, and I usually don't
Okay.
do it. I got my bike downstairs. I'm trying to get out. Weather's beautiful. This beautiful park across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to, mix it up. Don't make it all about the job, even as an owner, especially as an owner.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, if we get in a jam, I've had employees like bend over backwards and help me out when they didn't have to, and that's awesome. you
Yeah.
know, But you can't. It's hard to ask that of people, and you can't rely on the people. People have lives,
Yeah.
and it is just a job. But as an owner, it's easy to let it be your whole thing, and it really shouldn't be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like a little balance,
Yeah.
like a goddamn hobby. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean? Like
That's not within
start
t-shirts.
a shitty band. That's what everyone needs to start a shitty band.
Okay.
Um,
Or just make shitty music in general.
yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah.
Doesn't have to be a band. Just make a shitty song.
That's one of my favorite quotes in art school from a wise professor. So, sometimes you just got to make a lot of bad art. Bad art is still art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that approach in anything I agree on, because when it comes to content, right, like we talked about yesterday, I believe in quantity
Put it
over
out there.
quality,
Let it be.
because
Yes.
doing quantity will lead you to quality quicker. It's just like if you've made 1,000 paintings or like 1,000 sculptures, the first or the 1,000th one is going to be 1,000 times better than the first one, most likely.
So to be clear, all of my bad screen printing is in the very, very distant past.
Yes.
And right now, we're trying to bring our A game with every job,
Nice.
because if it ain't pretty, it's not going out the door.
And when you're waking up in the morning, what is it that keeps you like motivated, or like can be now or it could be in the past too. Like what is the like when you're like doing something in the business, like what is it that keeps you coming back, that keeps you satisfied, that like
it's the
scratches
customers.
that itch? Okay, it is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Debbie is the point of contact, but my desk is right up there.
Yeah.
And I try and get my face in people's faces, certainly when they come in and when they pick up. I swear to God, it is kind of amazing. I've had people open up their box of T-shirts and burst into tears for a good reason, because it's the first time they've seen their logo of their company on a thing.
Physical.
It's it's like a moment.
Yeah.
Or an image of a dead loved one. We've done those shirts too. I mean, you can see why they would cry. But I mean, I've had people get psyched about it, and that's what I love. That it is an impact in some way. And even if it's just a T-shirt, right? Everyone has them. They're ubiquitous, So that's what it's kind of what drives you.
Cool.
It's like making people happy.
Yeah, and seeing that like their face when they see it for the first time has got to be incredibly
satisfying.
satisfying.
I use the word ubiquitous, so I should get points.
Smart.
But because we have so much time left. So like I've been printing forever.
Yeah.
Through the recession, through the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
T-shirts are forever, dude. T-shirts are ubiquitous, and look that shit up.
Yeah.
It means they're everywhere.
And every generation is gonna need them for something.
T-shirts are everywhere, all the time. So if you have a screen printing business, have a diverse client base. Don't have one huge client. Have small ones, have big ones. Have print for everybody that will pay you to print for them, and do as good a work as you can, and they will come back and they will tell their friends, and things will grow. But through the recession, didn't feel it. And I'm talking like the 2000 recession, whenever in the pandemic.
2008.
In the pandemic, we lost like family reunions, 5Ks, 10Ks.
Any event type thing.
But who needed shirts really bad? Plumbers, contractors. Everyone was at home spending their money on their home.
UPS drivers.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you.
Amazon drivers.
Yeah, but there, all these small jobs.
Yeah.
And things happened, and we definitely, had to scale down, but we came out ahead.
Tell me, do what?
It's amazing.
It is. It like being able to adjust and adapt in different, business like environments, climates is shows how good of a entrepreneur and small business owner you are. Because it's never gonna be just green pastures and sunny days every day. Like people have told me, like, why are you starting this now? Like we're going into a recession.
Yeah.
It's like. I'm not going to like put my life on pause just because someone says we're in a recession, even though those things are real. And like, you'll see a big kind of like thing happening in the country where people are struggling. Like there's just certain times like that, but it's like, I'm not going to like think it's like, there's still 50 people that have $50 everywhere. So
right. Well, we haven't talked at all about that.
I know. Yeah.
Can we?
We can a little bit, but there's a couple more questions I got for you because it's interviewing you. We can talk about those things off camera. Yeah. I've already talked enough about my shit on camera. Anything you want to tell anyone that wants to start their own brand, knows nothing about T-shirts, maybe wants to start their own screen printing shop? What's up? What should they do? Go on YouTube? Like what? Watch Shirt Show? See, watch my videos?
Here's what I tell people that come, because we get a lot, any screen printer is going to, I got this brand. And there's a lot of folks out there that got brands. Google cool T-shirt. There's a lot of them out there.
And I don't even consider what I'm doing as a brand either. I don't consider like my T-shirts as a brand. I tell people that it's not. It's a project. And I'm starting a movement from the project.
Oh, see, yeah, you're kind of next level. So, but what I tell people, if I knew how to sell shirts, I wouldn't print for other people. Honestly.
I think you'd be great at selling shirts.
Like my Virginia's for fuckers?
Yeah, but it's just,
Tens of dollars.
there's
Tens!
certain ways of selling certain shirts. So
So I'm not a salesperson. I'm a screen printer.
Mm.
And if you bring me something, I will print it with the best of my abilities. And if you want my opinion, I have opinions. You know, most screen printers, if they're not designers, they become designers, or you learn to.
you
don't
learn
have to.
Adobe quickly.
Yeah, or you don't, and you
Pay someone who does.
Demand somebody come in with finished art, but it doesn't happen that much, and certainly sometimes it's the most difficult jobs are the ones where people don't want a whole lot of shirts and they need all kinds of help with design, and if you're mindful of that, you got to price that in, and don't. I've done it, and I'm doing it all the time still, but I need to not do it. But don't give your art away for free.
Sell yourself short, yeah.
Don't. Yeah, I'll go ahead and design. I'm doing it right now, but it's something several I got to work on. It's gonna keep me up late. I'm like, they're awesome. They're awesome clients. I'll hook them up. I'll spend,
Yeah.
a weekend working on this crazy design.
I do want to make this point known too, though. Eric was the first shop, and this was one of my goals for the tour, is to have shops reach out to me ahead of the state that they're in to say, we want, when you come to this state, you're getting your shirts printed here. And that's what happened. And I honestly can't thank you enough for that, because I'm super glad to have been working with you guys and creating this video. I think it's awesome. I think it's going to be one of the best ones that is ever done out of all 50. So no, I seriously, it is. I mean, like, the uniqueness of this shop is
Unique is weird.
I
reached out to you because
it was through TikToks, thank God.
You came up on my TikTok feed, and my TikTok channel, is that even the right word?
Yeah.
Profile?
Page.
'Cause I post weird things on there that aren't really right. And then
I like what you do too. Like, we'll give the shout out.
Thing,
yeah.
but,
Action t-shirts on TikTok.
On my Instagram page is more conventional and kind of boring or whatever. And then we started this weird thing, and I'm only going to use TikTok to post these weird things, and they're just for fun. But the 50-50-50 came up on my feed, and I was like, the hell? And then I was like, oh, this guy's for real. This is the thing. Like, he's committed. And I was like,
you saw me keep going to the other.
I was like, I think I gotta. He's making his way to Virginia. I'm like, no, yeah, I definitely want to DM this guy and see if we can do his shirts, because that would be cool. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
I
fucking awesome, dude. Like, seriously.
Can I tell him about the large thing, the size?
Yeah, sure.
So we printed your shirts last night. And you helped us print. We all printed them. Me, you, and Doug. And I'm at the back of the dryer picking them up, folding them, and I'm like, large. They're all like, wait a second. Are all these shirts large? That's when, more than once, my mind got blown again by this whole project.
I could sit here and do it all day.
Like, they're all larges. What? It's like, yeah.
Actually, what sucks though about that is it does happen, and it happened today. I had a guy.
You got a meeting? You got XL?
No, yeah, I had a guy who's like, "You got any 2XLs?" And I'm like, so.
Love for the big
But what's
man.
crazy is that, like I said the other day too, is that a majority of the people, in my opinion, never ask about what size it is. Even after they've paid, that's when usually they'll ask. They'll be like, "Oh wait, what size is this?" Because I've got them so locked into the story.
What you're selling isn't actually a T-shirt.
Yes, you're correct. I'm selling a story.
Why are we talking about screen printing, for God's sakes? You're on a whole nother level, man.
I appreciate it.
Mad genius.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Handshake on camera. There we go. Shout out anything you want. How do people support Action T-shirts? If you want to get your T-shirts printed, you're not even from Richmond, Virginia, right? People can order them. You can ship them anywhere. Do you guys do that or no? Kind of.
We're really busy, so support your local printer. That's what I would say.
If you're
Honestly,
in Virginia, especially
local.
in Richmond, yes.
The shipping on a box of shirts sucks.
It is, yes.
That's why people screen print locally
Yes.
above anything else.
So
And
Richmond,
the fact
Virginia, and surrounding areas.
you can walk into a shop, put your hands on a shirt, you pick up the shirts, you open the box, it looks terrible, you can address that. If you order online, you get a box of shirts, you open it up,
Facts.
and it's not great, then you're gonna have a much more difficult time.
Mm.
And we've made our share of mistakes, and when things go sideways, I will move heaven and earth to make them right.
There you go.
And I've had jobs go sideways, and made loyal clients out of these people because they see that I will make it right. So,
Because mistakes happen.
yeah,
I mean,
if I gotta lose my ass on it,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because this is all about just the integrity of your work.
Yes.
So, amen to that.
How do people find you?
What was that? Action T-shirts
.com?
at gmail.com.
Okay.
Send us an email if you want to get some work done.
On Instagram, TikTok?
Or on Instagram, Action T-shirts on Instagram. And, you know, we got a website, actionT-shirts.com. And we got a design engine. If you want to get and play with that, you can submit it. And boom, the art's already done.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I don't think
clever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice addition to the website. That way people can,
Yeah.
explore around a little bit
It's trying to, like, help the art get done
quicker.
before it comes.
Yeah.
Before someone's like, I got an idea. It's like,
I don't like ideas. I like designs.
design is a real thing. And it's worth paying somebody to
To
do.
do it good. Well, the way I design all my stuff is Sharpie on a piece of paper, slap it in the scanner. So
Killing me.
there's multiple ways to get it done, guys. But like I said, really appreciate it. And please, everyone, support Action T-shirts if you can. If you're from the Richmond, Virginia area, even if you're not, buy one of those Virginia is for fuckers shirts.
They're on our website.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll make tens of dollars.
Yeah. Make him make more tens of dollars, please. So thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And keep following along. 50-50-50 tour, Richmond, Virginia, Action T-shirts. Thank you so much.